to Intermediate Level English Language Arts.
Hi guys, and welcome to English Language Arts Grade 6. Our topic for today would be writing a travelogue. Now this would be your first write-up for third quarter, a travelogue. Okay, so what is a travelogue first? A travelogue, guys, is a brief narrative, descriptive account of an experience one has had in one of his or her trips. It tells the whole experience, relating what he or she has seen, felt, heard, smelled, and tasted. Very important here in a travelogue, right? You're trying to paint a vivid picture. You're trying to bring the reader to your spot, to your place. What you've felt, what you've experienced, what you've seen, what you've smelled, what you've tasted, what you've heard. All of those things, you want to make sure that the readers can feel them too, can sense them too, while they read your travelogue, which is very important because, especially with our topic right now on adjectives, right? You would be using adjectives here in writing a travelogue. Okay, so what would you do for a pre-write, guys? Decide what aspect of your trip you want to share with your readers. Okay, so your travelogue can be about the local custom and tradition, or cuisine, or history and culture, prices and transportation of the places visited, or your adventures in the place. Like, for example, you went somewhere and then part of the trip there is you did various things. You'd like to just talk about one of those things, you can also just do that. Okay, you may make a list of interesting things on your journey, then choose one to write about. You can make a sensory chart or a timeline. What's a sensory chart? This is a sensory chart. You just have a very basic chart wherein you'd like to list down the things that you've seen, like, for example, houses or buildings or stuff like that, artworks. Heard, things that you've heard, like, for example, birds chirping, or the elephants, right, or lions roaring, or stuff like that. Felt cold, you felt warm, you felt, no, not felt happy or felt sad, no, not those feelings, something that you would use your skin for. Okay, your sense of touch for. So, for example, you felt the cold ice, for example, or you felt the warm soup going down your throat, stuff like that. Okay, smell, the different smell the scents that you've smelled, and tastes, the different tastes that you tasted. You can list them down, all of them, like this, right? You could also create a timeline wherein, just so you could have a chronological order of your travel log. What is the first thing that happened, second, third, fourth, and fifth? Okay, you can divide them into 5, just so it's much easier for you to create a paragraph. Yes, once you're done with that, right, I'd like you to write 1 to 2 paragraphs about your travel experience or adventure. Use 5, take note, 5 or more kinds of adjectives. Okay, the paragraphs must also contain 3 or more of your senses during that time. You don't need to write all 5, it's fine. Here, guys, your main concern here is at least 3. If you could write all 5, then very good, but if you can provide 3, that's good already. Yes, I have an example here. This is regarding my trip in Hong Kong, right? Let me just read it for you guys, right? Hong Kong was the first country I've ever visited. The whole trip was very exciting and full of fun and new experiences. My top priority back then was to really experience the food there. So when I got there, I tasted a lot of different delicious food. The sweet and salty flavors really made my tongue happy, along with the meaty smell of the noodles with the really good brown broth, and the different street food being fried. All were very fun experiences. The sights were very beautiful too. The huge city looks very alive and modern. When we got there, it was rainy, so the climate was cool and really nice. Although we did not get to visit some old but famous sites, we got to see a lot of relatively new places like Ocean Park and Disneyland. Okay, what are the 5 different adjectives that I use? I use opinion, like, for example, beautiful. I also used physical quality, like, for example, physical quality like sweet, salty. Okay, I also used color, brown. Yes, also used age, old, new. Opinion, already mentioned opinion. Okay, yeah, those are the different things that I've used. Did I use anything else? Let me just really quickly look at it. No, I also used size. There we go. There. Huge. Huge city. What are the different senses that I use? I use sight. Beautiful expresses how it looks. Brown broth is also what I see. Okay. Smell, like for example, a meaty smell. Okay. I also use taste, sweet, salty, right? Okay. And of course, some more on the site, like for example, the famous sites and whatnot. Okay. So these are the different things. Oh yeah, and also touch, cool. The climate was cool, right? That's what I felt. Okay. So um, this is what I want you guys to do. You don't need to explicitly tell that this is what I've seen, this is what I've tasted, this is what I've heard. So long as, so long as you would write it down, like how I did it, right? I did not say it explicitly. Okay. You could do that too. Okay. So once you're done with your drafts, right? Once you created 1 to 2 paragraphs, I want you guys to check your revised checklists. Do all my sentences describe and narrate the experience focused in my journey? Is the subject of my travelogue clear? Do I still need to add or more details? Are there parts that I have to delete? Do my subjects and verbs agree? Did I use 5 or more different kinds of adjectives? Did I describe at least 3 of my senses during the experiences? Make sure that you have all of them all yes, right? Before you move on to the next stage, right? That way you are doing it properly. Next, edit. Check for grammar, punctuation mark, indentation, capitalization, and the like. And then once you're done with that, publish. I want you to write the paragraphs that you've written down in your drafts. Okay? The ones that you've written down in your drafts, I'd like you to write it in your notebooks or pad paper. Write Travelogue as activity title. And the title of your write-up must be the name of the place you're writing about. So like example for mine, it was Hong Kong. So you guys also have to do it like that too. Okay? Follow the correct format. As for what is the format, guys, I would just remind you again, your format, I have already said it, the correct header, double spaced, okay, and the like. Make sure that you follow those. Alright? And then when you're done with that, submit them online in Schoology. And that pretty much ends our topic for writing a travelogue.